Okay. After Bitch Bad, is it I grew up, and around the world? That's what it sounds like.
I don't know, but I'm pretty sure it's not Bitch Bad.
What are you holding up? Is that the Thanos copter?
That's the
that
Thanos
The Thanos copter exists in the MCU, and I'm the happiest man alive.
Hot
dog.
Is that is that the actual cube? What's it called? The fucking I'm talking about.
This is the Hot
The
Wheels
Tesseract, yeah.
Yeah. This is the Hot Wheels version, so it's like obviously it's really tiny. It's in my hand, but yeah, this is the display it came in, so I just kept it in there. So it looks awesome.
That is dope. Did we push this out to the socials? Did you do that thing?
Yeah, all over the socials. It's all over the socials. Just give people a few moments.
Fuck yeah.
Everyone's all about it. People are gonna fly in here. You wait and see. This is
too many people.
This is an exciting one because we're kind of moving towards. We're almost starting to get a little bit of connectivity. We'll talk about it later, but this is Bloodshot, Setting the World on Fire. This is volume 1 of the run written by Dwayne Swerzinski, who writes this title for a while. But then we got pencils from Manuel Garcia and Arturo Lozzi, and inks from Stefano Guadiano, who we've seen in, I think we've seen him in Exo Manowar, Matt Ryan, and then Arturo Lozzi. And then colors are from Ian Hannon, and the name that I'll never get sick of saying and will always notice, Moose Bauman, who I could just tell is an awesome guy based on his name. Don't ask me how. And then letters from Rob Steen. So
did you say Moose Bauman?
His name's Moose Bauman.
I've never met a Moose Bauman I didn't like.
He does. That's fact. He does colors for Exo Manowar. He did colors for Harbinger. He does colors for this. He's basically the color guy for Valiant in this era. But yeah, I do like seeing his name. I like that cover of this trade, by the way. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah.
Is that inker the Atlanta Falcons quarterback, Matt Ryan?
No, not that Matt Ryan.
Oh, well, soon.
Bummer. Wouldn't it be great if he was like not only a quarterback but also an incredibly talented inker?
Secretly, just the anchor at Valiant.
Yeah. Arturo Lozzi is the one who does this cover, by the way. And yeah, it's pretty dope. So I don't know. Do you think we should maybe wait for some more people to fill in the chat, or just get right down into it?
You know what we didn't do on Wednesday while we wait? We did not talk about books we're reading.
We didn't.
I thought we were going to go, and then by the time we got to the end, I was like, it's too late.
Oh, well.
How about you tell us about your story? Tell us your story about the Velvet Underground.
Oh God. Okay. So I'm in Las Vegas for work, and I hate Vegas. I've discussed this extensively. You can go back and watch other videos. I'm a huge proponent of nuking Las Vegas. But anyway, I digress. So I needed to go to the LCS. It'd been 2 weeks since I've been to the comic book store, and I had to just pick up some new stuff. So I talked to Robo a little bit about it, and he mentioned that he'd been to a place called the Velvet Underground. He had told me more about it earlier, but I had forgotten. So he just mentioned there's a place called the Velvet Underground. It's the oldest LCS in Vegas.
Yeah.
So I was like, hey, what the hey? I'll go take a little look-see doodle. So I left. I went to the Velvet Underground. I got there. It was not my kind of LCS, I'll be honest. It was cool. I'm not saying it was bad, but no trades. No real, like, no sign that said new comics, like I didn't know where to go for the creator owned like indie stuff. I didn't know where to go for Marvel, DC. It was just very scattered. But it was a ton of comics, millions of comics there. So it was kind of cool. I went to pay for my books, and I didn't have any cash, and he only takes cash, which is another kind of like strike, but whatever.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
So I was like, fuck. So I went to an ATM and came back. I came back right at closing. He was turning off the lights. I was like, can you still check me out? He was like, yeah, sure. So I went through the line, and it took forever just to pay because we got into a really deep conversation about comics. Like, this guy has been doing this for 40 years. He's a 70-year-old man. He's been doing this for 40 years. He was showing me everything. He showed me like the back room where he has his private collection. And he's got like all these really amazing comics. He was showing me the pull boxes, and like this guy services over 250 like pull boxes. I have no idea how he does it. He has like 3 employees, and somehow he manages to do it every week. So I was looking at those, and like, you know, there's a lot of like, there's famous people there. Like this is the biggest comic book store in Vegas. So it's pretty crazy, like the operation that he's running. But anyway, we're talking, and we start talking about personal things. And he's like asking me about my wife. So I'm telling him about my wife. She's an interior designer, and she's back in El Paso that we both hate, but we hate less than Vegas. And he was like, yeah, you know, yeah, I've been single for like 30 years or something. You know, lately I've just been kind of more focused on Christ. And I was like, oh, well, that's cool. And like already, I got to be honest, there's part of my brain that immediately is like, oh, please don't do this. But
eject.
But I was being polite. I was like, oh, okay, well, that's great. And I was trying to be sincere though. It wasn't like this. It was like I was like, oh, excellent, awesome. You know. So anyway, we were talking about that, and then we get to the point where it's time to talk about like, oh, no. Okay, so he's telling me about his past. He's like, yeah, you know, so I found Christ. Before that, I was doing a lot of really bad things. And you know, like in Las Vegas, like a lot of the things that happen here are kind of the things that really are unsightly to God. Like, you know, the drinking and the gambling and the drugs and people being gay, and like he threw that out there. I was like, oh, what? But
that's when you start like taking the slow steps backwards.
That's exactly what I did. So at this, well, I tried. So I was going to take the slow steps backwards. He was like, so what do you do for a living? I was like, I'm in the military. He goes, do you mind if I just pray for you for a second? And I was like, and you have to understand, nothing against praying, but to an atheist, praying is just an adult saying magic words to me. Like it's like LARPing to me. It's like an adult casting. He might as well have been like, by the fires of, you know, like it might as well have been a magical incantation, but it was very weird, off-putting, and I hate it. It's happened to me before. It's never fun. But anyway, he starts praying. He starts praying, and I'm sitting there like, that's a fucking good prayer. Like I didn't say that out loud, but I was trying to be like, I was like,
really nailed that prayer there, bud.
I'm getting a major prayer on right now. Oh, fuck. But anyway, he finishes the prayer, and at this point, I'm moseying to the door. I get to the door. I put my hand on the door. And there's another 5 minutes of conversation at the door. You know what I mean? And then I finally get outside. He follows me outside. We keep talking outside. Like it was hard to get out of there, but I finally got into the car and drove away. And really the moral of the story, or the theme of the story, is that something that could start off as a really cool experience can in an instant become a weird experience.
Yeah, the same thing happened. I actually did forget to tell you. I tried to make it be like I did it on purpose, but I totally forgot. That that's how that went down. I just remember like him being the Riddler, and he has some like Riddler themed car outside, and he's just the oldest car. Like, you should go to this thing. And then when you started typing in the mod chat, like, so it started off cool. My brain was like, click. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah,
so it was great. I'm glad that you had the same experience. It was good.
We know the same guy. So
yeah.
Without further ado, I think we should get into Bloodshot. So this is setting the world on fire, and just real quick for people who are just kind of joining us, it compiles Bloodshot issues 1 through 4. We got Dwayne Sprazinski, which I think I'm pronouncing correctly, as the writer, Manuel Garcia and Arturo Lazzi as the pencils. The inks are Stefano Guadiano, Matt Ryan, Arturo Lazzi. Colors from Ian Hannon and my boy Moose Bauman, and then letters from Rob Steen. Moose. Yeah. So this is a beautiful book. Just visually right out the gate, looking at the cover, it's a beautiful piece. It's a beautiful comic book art. The pencil and ink color team really knocks it out of the park. Before we get into the story, what do you got? What did the three of you think about it? What's your kind of like immediate, like brief, like reaction? It could be a noise or it could be like a word.
I liked it. I liked it a lot, honestly. It gave me like that kind of vibe. It kind of reminded me of the brand new X-Men #1, where I had that fun. I don't know if you guys have read it, but it kind of reminded me of that, where it was just like, hey, here's the story, and let's get into it. Let's show some body parts blowing up. It's comic book stuff, but not cheesy either. There's a backstory there, and then there's like this whole thing that we'll get into the details. I liked it. I really liked it.
Okay. G Money.
I was pleasantly surprised.
Pleasantly surprised.
I was pleasantly surprised.
Were you expecting worse?
I fully expected to hate it. Like I went into it thinking I was probably gonna hate it.
Fucking Vin Diesel. Fucking
right.
If there's one reference to family in this fucking book, I'm gonna lose it.
What's funny is
seriously though.
Reading the comic, it's hard to imagine anyone thinking that Vin Diesel's the right choice to play that guy. You know?
That's
really?
Actually, Dakota was the first one on the way to Minneapolis, and we were talking about that. That just like, why him?
Yeah,
right.
I feel like there's a lot of people who could do this role.
It's a
I
name.
picture someone more stoic looking, you know.
But like that name, is that the one you want?
Yeah,
right.
Like,
well, is that the name you could afford?
Vin Diesel movie that's been good, not successful.
Pitch Black.
Good.
Riddick.
And that's,
Pitch Black
that's
is
it.
good.
And I don't think it was because
Yeah,
of Vin
keep
Diesel.
talking, Judah, because you haven't named one yet.
No,
Wow.
those are good, but it's because of Carl Urban.
Fair.
I'm not a Riddick guy.
So, Chris, what did you think about this? What did you think about this comic book? Just initial impression.
I'll fall in similar vein as G, but probably like a little bit less. I was surprised because I thought I was going to go into this being like, okay, fucking Punisher meets Wolverine, whatever. And I'll say that I enjoyed it enough that I got some entertainment out of it. But if I was a regular comic goer and I was buying this in issues, I wouldn't have kept going.
Punisher meets Wolverine's not a turnoff for me. Like, I like cheese. I like meat. When I get meat and cheese, I'm not thinking, oh, great, it's just meat meets cheese. You know, it's like, oh, there's two things I like. You know,
for me to put context in it, like my favorite Punisher story is Frankencastle. Like, I don't like regular Punisher. I like weird strange, Punisher. Different Punisher.
Okay.
Regular Punisher just kind of gets boring to me.
The
but that's me.
Of Wolverine meets Punisher is why I went into it expecting to hate it.
Yeah, so we had the same bias going in.
Right.
Fair.
But I'll say it's good. It's just not. It's probably not something written for me.
Okay. Well, let's get into issue number 1.
Let's do it.
So this starts off with Robo. I think Robo and I are both gonna know some of these words. Some familiarity with these things. It starts off with an MQ-1 Pred drone flying in Afghanistan, and it's being controlled from an undisclosed location in Nevada. The operators end up getting eyes on what looks like a teenage girl, and then she uses some kind of power to electrocute the drone that is so powerful that it actually somehow electrocutes the people operating it in Nevada too, which I'm gonna suspend my disbelief because it was cool, but wow.
Yeah. So these are I don't think this is classified. The way that people on the other side of the world control the plane on one side of the world is through SATCOM radio links, and I'm pretty sure electric energy can't. Did it jump into space and then back down?
Up that's exactly what happened. It went up into the satellite. It fried that. They didn't have room for that panel, but there is a satellite that's off in space now.
Yeah.
Real quick, Judah.
What an incredible weapon.
Yeah.
The drone itself is in Afghanistan.
Right.
Yeah.
But the controllers are in Nevada.
Yeah, I think you said it was it was in Nevada. That's why I'm just making clarification. Yeah.
I may have misspoke. The drone flying in Afghanistan sees the girl, she electrocutes it, and it's somehow able to affect the operators that are sitting in a room, a secure facility in Nevada. Anyway, so next we're left with that kind of head scratcher, and then we meet Ray, who is Bloodshot, and right now he has like human
Spoilers.
skin. So
Jesus,
damn it. So he appears to be on like some sort of military operation. He appears to be like some sort of military operator, and when we meet him, he's in the middle of being tasked to go on a mission. Apparently, like the stakes are super high, and very reluctantly he agrees. So then we see him say goodbye to his wife and son.
John, I'm retired. I don't do this anymore.
This whole intro, I was rolling my eyes so hard because I'm like, this is exactly what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah. So he says goodbye to his wife and son. He goes to Afghanistan and he jumps in. And this is probably the first part that I thought was really cool. He gets hit with a missile. Someone fired a missile at him while he was like jumping out of the plane. He is clearly very wounded by this missile that literally decimates him.
That's a flesh wound.
So the enemies, whoever struck him, they take custody of his charred remains.
Yeah.
And then once he's inside their compound, his body starts to regenerate and he springs to life. And then he kills a whole bunch of them in a really cool way, I would say, like just wastes a bunch of dudes. Then he's like distracted by like some hallucination of his son. Yeah, it is really dope. You can see the nanites working. So he sees like some kind of hallucination of his son, and it's like weird because why would his son be here? You know. Then he finds out it's an illusion, and then he gets incapacitated. So when he wakes up, he's hooked up to some kind of machine, and there's this scientist, Mr. Kuratich, who reveals to him that just no big deal. Your entire life is a lie, and all of your missions have been under false pretenses. And then Kuratich heavily implies that Bloodshot's family isn't even real. So then Bloodshot goes into a rage. This is going to be a common theme. He goes into a rage, escapes, and uses his blood nanites to reach out for support. So his friends arrive, you think. Like a helicopter arrives with who he believes are his allies, but then he finds out that not as all it seems when they completely, again, obliterate him with gunfire. And then his body's taken into custody, and that's the end of the issue.
What a stressful way to start your day.
Yeah.
He's been blown to bits twice in the first issue.
Right.
I love it. What were your thoughts about this?
You could watch the trailer to the Vin Diesel movie and get this whole issue.
Yeah. What I really like about what they did with the like this part right here. So let me throw this up here. So check this out. So I'm reading this, and I'm like, this art, like I do not like this. It reminds me of like Webtoon where they like overly gradient kind of coloring and stuff, and I'm like, I don't like the shading. This is bad. Oh well. And I go, and then it changes once he leaves his family, and then like it clicks. I'm like,
it's
those
fake
are
memories.
Fake memories. Those are like it's supposed to look CGI'd because it's implanted. I'm like, I thought that was
right.
I thought that was really dope. And then when I got to here, I was just like, bro.
I didn't even put that together when I was reading it. That's a good observation. Yeah, that's definitely
also,
what they're going
way,
for.
There's no fucking muscle that can pop a fucking dude floating out of floating down a parachute. Just wanted to really know that.
Why do you have to bring real life?
Yeah, we're gonna do that. We're gonna do.
I guess
you don't know what kind of missiles the terrorists have.
Yeah,
yeah.
Especially in Afghanistan. Yeah.
What's funny is that's not even the least. I still think that's less unrealistic or more realistic
than the electricity going up the SATCOM
electricity.
wave.
Yes. So this is over the top 80s action movie shit, which I'm here for, by the way. But yeah, it's definitely
it
like
knows what it is, and
top.
it's not trying to be something else.
It's leaning into it. Yeah. Oh man. I think one of the things I like about this first issue is that it's just the action starts right away. You're not waiting for the action. It's like right away. This is action packed.
Superhero pose right away. Issue number 1.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it does something that I do like that not enough superhero comics do, which is just like you said, gets right into it. Like just show us that he has a healing factor. Show us that he's a badass, right. And then we'll deal with the origin later. Like we don't. Somebody has, but me personally, I have never gotten into a story where the first issue is the origin story.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like if the first issue of Captain America that I read was him getting shot with the needle and getting the super soldier serum, and that was it, I'd be like, what's the point of this book?
Sure. Yeah. That makes sense.
You could read this first issue with no words and still sort of understand what's going on. I do love that panel. That for POV.
Yeah.
I have one complaint with this so far. Okay, back in like when he's doing the superhero pose. So like this book, look at that. There's a guy's brains flying out. He's been blown up twice, but you couldn't show like the outline of balls and testicles.
I knew you were gonna fucking say that.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous to me when a book can be super violent, but you can't show a penis.
Ridiculous.
True. Ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. I can't.
Well, maybe everything that's there is there. Like maybe.
See, I think you could, make the argument that when he's in like the Bloodshot mode, that like he doesn't have a penis because that's just, I don't know, something to distract you. I don't know.
Well, maybe that's like his balls down there, and then he had just like one of those on the top of the balls.
Maybe he tucks. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe he has micro penis. I mean, he has full of nanites and micro. I don't know. Does every hero have to have a big dick? You know?
Yeah.
I don't need a big
yes,
dick.
they do,
I just
Judah.
need, like, if any person, regardless of dick size, you would see at least something there.
At least a little boop, little boop, boop. Yeah.
Yeah.
I hear you.
A little something. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
If he's been blown up twice, I want to see his penis.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. More penis.
Hey, somebody has to say it.
Right.
Somebody
I
had
don't
to.
know, we see boobs
finally.
like often enough that I think we could see some balls every once in a while.
100%. 100%. So,
as somebody who has a pair, I don't know if you want to see them that often. They're not attractive.
Not the most attractive.
Public opinion would change if it's something we saw more often.
Normalize balls is what I've always said.
I just want to know what kind of rounds they're shooting right here.
Big.
Like shredder rat.
But they're all coming out of like AKs. Is this what happens when you get hit by an AK?
It looks like they're firing razor blades at him.
Like razor blades the size of like
they're
Pringles cans.
They're tipped with depleted uranium. It's fine. There's no war crimes going on here.
True.
Maybe that's just how your body reacts when it's full of nanites. Like, you know what I mean? Maybe.
Okay. Yeah. See. Yep. If you were held together by nanites, this is what would happen.
The eyeball shooting out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So does it just rebuild it, or does it go? Or does that eyeball come back?
It rebuilds. Back? So these nanites are like little worker bees that are constantly rebuilding him.
It seems like it rebuilds from the biggest piece.
Definitely.
Now the nanites in the eyeball.
So it's obviously not the dick then.
Could it make another bloodshot from the nanites in that eyeball? And then there's two.
Protein.
We're getting to Lobo territory here, and I don't like it.
So I don't know. I'm weird. I like it. We can move on to issue number 2, but what you said about the origin story, it not only sets up an origin story, but it gives the backdrop. It gives the whole like implanted memories. Whoa, wait a minute, what's going on? So in the beginning that wasn't real? What's going on? And I have to go to issue 2 at least.
I liked it because I was expecting especially being told like, oh, it's like Punisher. I was expecting like, and his family dies. Which those never sell it for me. But it's like, and his family never fucking existed.
Yeah.
And that I want to know more about.
That's got to be traumatizing.
Yep.
Right.
Well,
so, it's not just a family, but we're going to get into that.
We will absolutely get into that. So issue 2 starts off horrifying flashback or vision or something. I don't think it's a flashback. I think it's just some vision or something. But he's playing Ray, the Bloodshot guy, is playing with his son. And his son ends up getting impaled on a fence. Funny story. I was actually at a party once where that happened. But anyway,
that's not Bloodshot, a funny story.
It's
a hilarious story.
You had to be there, you know. So he wakes up. He's strapped to a table on an airplane, and even awake, he's still seeing visions of who he thinks is his wife and son. Once again, this is the rage. Once again, in a rage, he escapes, and he emits a high frequency sound. Yeah, he goes full on like berserker mode. Emits a high frequency sound that somehow incapacitates the men around him, giving him enough time to kill all of them. Which one thing I thought was funny is it caused this dude to bleed out of his ear.
There's a little indent down there.
That could be,
yeah, right there.
Yeah.
The one guy's
there you go, G. There's some balls for you.
There's the balls. So there's the guy that's bleeding out of his ear, and he's like, "Oh fuck!" Like I feel like his reaction was a little like he handled it really well that he was bleeding out of his ear because of this mission. No. So once the killing stops, he's surrounded by, and this is creepy, visions of various not real family members that were used to control and manipulate his memories in the past. And they explain to him, so it's almost like the Matrix is talking to him. They explain to him that these are the Goldies, as they're called, or his nanites, and they're like in his blood, and he learns that he needs to consume protein in order to keep the Goldies fed so they can heal him. By the way, this pays off. Anyway, after a deadly altercation with the pilot, you could say, the plane crashes, and now we see the undisclosed Nevada facility. People are freaking out because they know Bloodshot is loose in Nebraska. And this new character that we're just meeting, Mr. Oric, who seems to be in charge, is set on retrieving the girl, presumably the girl from the beginning with the electric powers, as well as neutralizing Kuratech and Bloodshot. Also in Nevada, Kuratich and his people are entering a Project Rising Spirit neighborhood. And this is like the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, like pretend neighborhood, but it's a neighborhood where the people who work for this secret company had to live with their families. And then it appears that some sort of virus has gotten loose, and that this virus is a big blob of nanites that kills people.
Gray goo.
Gray goo. And then we're in Nebraska. There's an ambulance carrying the charred body of Bloodshot, and he wakes up and immediately starts demanding steak, just like me, or some kind of protein. And then he uses his nanites to disable the vehicle, and then he leaves and devours some cows. He then forces the paramedic to drive him to where he needs to go. And then back at Project Rising Spirit headquarters, we find out that the girl who took out the drone and its operators is in custody, and she's about to be transported and used against Bloodshot. The issue ends with Bloodshot and his paramedic hostage heading home. So I like the cow eating. That's my favorite thing about this.
I related to him very much in this issue when he was begging for steak, because that's pretty much my day-to-day operation.
He wakes up, give me steak.
We didn't see him eat the cow, but they did let us know that driver was like really fucked up from that airbag.
Yeah.
If he ate the driver, headcanon,
could be.
he ate the driver, and the cows are just fine.
But why did they show us the cows? I guess I don't know.
No.
We'll never know.
It was to create setting.
When we have Dwayne Swarzynski on the show, that's got to be like pretty much the only question we ask him is:
did he eat the cows or the driver?
Yeah.
Gotta add or the driver.
He's not like being the best. He's not being his best Bloodshot self in this issue. Like he takes this paramedic is like just an innocent bystander that he takes hostage. But I do like the killing on the plane. I really enjoyed that. I like it when he just starts wasting people. And I know that's like not a very mature way to enjoy fiction. Like that's just me being like very basic, but I do enjoy it. Makes me happy.
Yeah.
When it goes into like Call of Duty mode, it's pretty funny.
Yeah.
But it had moments that were good, but the issue overall just kind of it was setting up things, especially this woman that's tied up and chained in like 50 different ways near the end.
Yeah.
Yep. Pulse. Have they started calling her Pulse yet, or do they call her Pulse in the next issue? I can't remember. But that's her code name is Pulse.
Yeah.
For the obvious reasons. Because she pulses.
Yeah, I thought this issue was a little boring. If I'm receiving these every 2 weeks or once a month, and I go to my LCS and I pick this up and I read it, I'm like, wow, well, that was a comic.
Yeah.
This is probably where if I was a month-to-month reader and I was like, let's try this Bloodshot thing, that's probably where I would have gone to my LCS and been like, yeah, I'm good on this.
Yeah. Well, trade.
How dope is that?
Wink, wink.
How dope is that Esad Ribic cover that we're looking at?
Pretty dope.
Yeah. So Esad Ribic is one of my favorite artists ever.
Oh God.
But this literally looks like he just recolored one of the Punisher covers he did for Jason Aaron and just like moved on.
Yeah,
I mean, it's the most
similarities.
It's the most Punisher looking he looks in any of this.
Yeah, I mean, it's so easy to see the influences here. I mean, the cloudy past, the healing ability, Wolverine, being used as a weapon, Wolverine. Guy with a gun and who wears black and has like a thing on his shirt, Punisher. You know?
Yeah. It's not a knock. I'm just saying that this cover, like even the design, like I could see the just flipping, even like his hair being slicked back and like all the military garb, like it's very Punisher. But then again, it's hard to do anything military style that isn't very Punisher.
Sure.
Yeah. Real quick, is there anyone watching right now? Because like this is the most empty chat, and I'm thinking it has something to do with the time of day. Because normally people like talking about Valiant. I don't know. If you're in the chat, just say hi or something.
It says 5 people watching.
There's 5 people watching. Say hi. Let us know. Say anything.
maybe they're washing dishes. Maybe they have this on and they have their headphones on and they're sitting there. See, hello, hi.
What's up? What's up? Not my name. What's up?
Hey, G Money's in the chat. Welcome, G Money.
Welcome. Cool. It's amazing how that small thing makes me feel immediately better. Yeah. So I think I agree with. As far as these 4 issues go, I would say this one was the most fillery feeling. Which isn't, it was a lot of setup. It did have.
I was reading this while donating plasma, and it was like perfect. This was super entertaining, just reading like all in a row. I didn't even think about like how it would be one by one, because I don't know. This was great. It flew by.
Right. Yeah. It's just like it's like candy. It has very little nutritional value, but it's like instantly satisfying.
Right.
I also really like staring at a good gory page.
Like, I
want to see all the intestines. I want to see the eyeball, and like, this is great gore. This is top-notch gore.
It's good stuff.
So this wasn't illustrated by Mark Laming, but he does illustrate the Tim Seeley run. And one of the things that he was telling me was like, for all the times that Bloodshot gets gored completely, like he has to like find references on like Google Image of like people getting mauled. And he said it was very disturbing. Like it was a little traumatizing having to like prepare for like having to find reference material. But like you have to do that a lot when you're drawing Bloodshot, apparently. Yeah.
Don't judge my Google history. I'm just a comic book artist.
I'm just an artist, yeah.
I looked up that centaur stuff for purely research reasons.
Yeah, now he's trying to lump in all the other stuff too. Yeah. It's research. So this kind of goes into issue 3. Bloodshot and his hostage, which we don't find her name until the end of this trade, so I'm just going to call her either the paramedic or the hostage. They're driving in the ambulance, using his nanites, which
aggressively heterosexual.
Aggressively hetero. That's
initiating oversexed husband defense system.
Stop shoving your heterosexuality in my face, please.
The heterosexual agenda.
It is.
Do they know kids read this?
Oh God, yeah. More dick, less. Yeah. Anyway, So I kind of just didn't even want to talk about that. Like he gets another flashback and nothing new really added. Now he's in the ambulance with his hostage. He's using his nanites and he uses them to try to access the fake memories that include his home address. And by analyzing the facial features of the wife from his memories, he's able to identify her and find her address in Albuquerque, New Mexico. So
he something wrong with his face in this panel. He looks like a middle-aged like.
Okay, those nanites are doing their best.
Yeah. Like when I saw this, everything was like super chiseled, Punisher, Frank Castle, I'm like epitome, and then there's just like this guy who's like an accountant and I don't know.
I think he's like confused and doing one of those like
thing, you know? He's doing he's one of those guys that makes like when he's really thinking, he does kind of like a yeah.
I feel like that's the look my father had when he's coming home from the job that he hated. And he's just like, well, I got to put on a good face for the kids.
Hey, yes.
And he just sit in the garage and make that face and then take a breath and be like, okay, let's do it.
So so he finds this. I don't even know what's happening now.
I do think it's interesting that these nanites can track this woman down from one photo, but couldn't be like BT Dubs. Her birth date is this, so she's this many years old now.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm sure. Or maybe they saw it and they're like, he doesn't need to know that.
Yeah, like this is going to be good. I do kind of
wonder, how in control are these nanites?
They're sentient. Like when they want to be, it seems like.
They're a highlight. You learn a lot more about them in another run. You learn the most about them.
I think the most interesting part for me.
Right.
Well, something tells me that no matter how much I know about it, it's not going to be consistent through the stories. and they're just a real nice, what is it, Deus Ex Machina type thing.
Yep.
You're gonna like blood squirt, which does not come up in this run, but eventually you'll meet blood squirt.
Sounds
Yeah,
good.
is that what I think it
got
is?
a little chubby down here. So what's going on with blood squirt?
You'll learn all about blood squirt. So
Ooh.
he gets to this house with his hostage, and he has her knock on the door while he's out there with like a sniper rifle, like just watching. And then
chill guy.
he like orchestrates this trap where he's like aiming it at her family members. He's able to threaten this woman into answering his questions. She reveals that her only connection to Kuratich is that they dated in high school. Which fuck. So in Nevada, we see Kuratich. He's discovering a completely destroyed city underground, and it's like right beneath the surface, you see all these dead bodies, all this rubble.
I love his eye. Go back. I love that his eyeball has like a target in it.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the nanites. That's the nanites. G.
So cool. Anyway, keep going.
So he finds all these dead people in the rubble, and then meanwhile, there's like a semi-truck packed with Project Rising Spirit shooters on its way to take down Bloodshot using this little girl with the electro abilities, Pulse. So Bloodshot's interrogating his fake wife. She's not his wife. There are no substantial leads, except he's beginning to fully realize that all of the fake family members he's been implanted with are people that Kuratich knew from school, which they definitely should have a Facebook group, like people that Kuratich fucking randomly used for some dude's memories.
Strong incel vibes.
Yeah.
I couldn't be with them. At least Bloodshot.
Right. Right. Yeah.
I was gonna say
I'm just gonna build this Chad.
The same thing.
So his nanites, in the form of one of his fake sons, alerts him to the people coming to take him out. They're about a half mile away. So while Bloodshot is distracted, his paramedic hostage chick grabs his gun, his sniper rifle, and shoots him in the chest. Baller move, by the way. Anyway, as the Project Rising Spirit people get closer, the Psyot, that they're transporting, threatens to kill them. Bloodshot regenerates from being shot, and then realizing that Mrs. Spellman, aka his fake wife, is a dead end, he leaves in the ambulance that he came in. The semi-truck with all the Rising Spirit people stops, and the Psyot emits her EMP blast, which incapacitates Bloodshot and causes him to crash the ambulance. And then the Rising Spirit people start to close in, and one of them just puts a bullet right in his head. So I like this issue. I think this is my favorite issue so far.
Yeah,
it's tied with the first one maybe, but I like this issue a lot.
Yeah.
So, Judah, so Robo, I don't know where you live, but Judah, you live in Texas, correct?
Affirm.
Okay.
I'm in Georgia.
Hours between Nevada and Albuquerque.
So, you live. Okay. Anyways, you live in probably a state that has much looser gun laws than my state does.
Yes.
I don't believe that gun would be available to the public, even in a state like that. Would I be correct in that?
Which one? The sniper rifle?
The sniper rifle.
Like
it was his.
Yeah.
Where the hell did he get it?
From the nanites.
The nanites just created a sniper rifle?
I don't know where he got it. I don't think he stopped at the store and bought it, but maybe he lifted it off one of the guys that he took out in the plane or whatever. I don't know.
So he wasn't a plane.
He's been looting as he's going.
Yeah.
I was confused
more clothing.
Well, the last time we saw, because I can believe the nanites create the clothes. I can buy that. But the last time we saw him, he was in the ambulance eating cows. And then he also has this like giant sniper rifle.
Look, if you're reading this comic for it to make sense, you are reading the wrong comic.
I think we're good. I think we're good. Only because there's a time, right? He's fucked up in the ambulance. He needs to eat the cow or the driver. Headcanon's the driver. And and then next thing is ding dong, right? So in that time, his nanites undoes the alarm system of the local gun shop, does whatever he needs to do, gets cleaned up, gets healthy, gets on top of the roof. And I don't know. I think I'm all right with it.
What state are they in? Like, could you not, but in Texas or certain parts of Wisconsin or Michigan, go into a lot of houses?
Nevada.
I don't believe you can get a gun like that.
That's a Barrett. That's a Barrett sniper rifle.
That's a Barrett. Yeah.
In Nevada, 100%. Texas, 100%. New Mexico, yeah. In that part of the country, this is.
You could
If
get
there's a part of the
sniper
country
rifle
to buy-
that in that kind of part of the country.
Yeah.
Absolutely,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
So the size, like when it comes to gun restrictions, it has more to do with ammo capacity and fire rate than having a scope or having a high caliber. You know what I mean? Like caliber is less of a concern when it comes to those kinds of laws than just the magazine and the fire
Hey,
rate.
next time I want a heavy dark shadow across the entire chest.
No, we need some side build.
I do like how this guy, when the EMP goes off, he's like, "Fuck, I'm gonna lose all my nudies."
Wait, is social media
You know
not?
what? Maybe
I
that was
tested
like
myself.
the last nude he had of his girlfriend who died. You know what? Like
Thank
maybe it's
you.
a very sentimental nude.
Thank
Very
you.
sentimental. Yeah,
Oh,
poor guy.
now I'm gonna cry. On
Yeah.
I'd
live-
say
on
too,
live
with my like critique with the gun, I do like the fact that was it in this issue where so the woman grabs the gun, shoots it, and then they down the line are like, "Oh, by the way, she was a army med in Afghanistan or whatever, and that's why she knows how to handle a gun like that."
No. Yeah,
That's the only
That
reason
is-
you would know that.
that is
Mhm.
accurate.
I
That
mean,
is civilian. But I won't even say army medic or anything about her being a female. That is in media. All you had to be is in the military.
Yeah.
That's
To
it.
know how to use,
Any
and
TV show.
that's all.
Fighting,
Yeah.
weapons, tactics,
Helicopters.
taking apart a weapon, putting it back together, flying a helicopter.
Meanwhile,
all you have to say
I
is,
could-
But at least they tried, is my point. And it's not even that it's a woman. It's that if I picked up a gun like that as someone who shot a fair share of guns in his
100%. life,
I would have no fucking clue. I mean, I would know to pull the trigger and shoot it, but I'm sure I would fall back on my ass because it would kick back so hard.
well, I mean, how do you load it? Is it open bolt firing? Is it closed bolt firing? It's like, it's not, 100%.
I just like the fact that they explained it. They're like, okay, by the way, Afghanistan, she was there. Bam, let's move on.
Because nurses pick up Barrett sniper rifles.
I worked at the help desk at my unit for 5 years.
At least they tried. Is all.
I know how to handle
I'm with
it.
you, I'm with you.
Yeah.
I just wanted to pull up this panel right here where it was like, he has a sniper rifle. I'm your son. Like, yeah, but for like 2 seconds. Like soon, like he's like got you like a third of the way. Like most of the lawn is behind the house. This is the worst spot ever. So I thought I'd-
Right. So yeah,
I'm really shocked
like-
that I'm not the one picking it apart like this.
I do.
Shoot the kid. Ooh.
I like this paramedic. I like the paramedic chick because I like how she just takes the initiative and blasts him. Like if he wasn't like basically invincible, she would have just fucking killed the dude that kidnapped her. So
Yeah.
I like
it was
that.
a badass moment, yeah.
For sure.
For sure. And there's a lot of silly suspension of disbelief issues here, but for some reason they're just not really distracting me too much. Like
No,
I'm
still
noticing them.
enjoying it. Yeah.
Yeah, they're
I
not
didn't
like
go into it expecting it to be this like, really well thought out, grounded in reality book. I expected it to be, the Wolverine and Punisher mixed.
right. This is supposed to be just like an action movie. That's what it is, Can leave all like the introspection to like Harbinger or like all the hard sci-fi to like Exo Man of War. This is supposed to be like some fuck yeah kind of shit,
Right.
This is my favorite cover of the whole front.
I like
I
it.
do like that. It's
I like
yeah.
all his families.
It's actually very poignant. Yeah, it's like these are all of his families battling into his
In his
brain.
memories, yeah. We said his hairline?
I like his weird hairline.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You got a little hard part there that goes all the way around. It's probably where they like opened up his brain.
Right.
And there's just
No
scar
way
tissue there
Vin Diesel could never pull that off.
now.
He's not
I don't
made to
think
pull that off.
I don't think he has the actual hair for it. I think
bald.
he has
Pull that
a
off?
horseshoe hair.
Carl
You
Urban.
don't think he's
could pull
bald
that
by
off.
choice? Oh yeah.
No,
Carl
he's
Urban.
definitely not bald by choice. I guarantee he has horseshoe hair.
Carl Urban would be a fine Bloodshot, by the way.
Yeah.
Carl Urban could play whatever the fuck he wants.
Right.
Yeah.
If you wanted to
Carl
play
Urban?
Catherine the Great, I'd be like, I don't know, maybe I could see
It could work, yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Who's that? Oh, that is.
So
But you don't know who
we're
Catherine the Great was? Or Carl Urban.
Okay, Carl Urban. Okay, yeah, no, that's good.
Okay.
Nah, I wouldn't.
sure. Why not?
Yeah, all right. I'm
You know,
looking at him in Ragnarok, and yeah,
Judge Dredd.
God,
man.
he was so good at Ragnarok.
He was so good in Judge Dredd.
Yeah.
That's an underrated movie.
I am the law.
It's better than
Sorry.
It's better than that one, I think.
100 times better than that one.
Yeah, that one's a piece of shit. But so this is the last issue of the whole volume, issue 4. It starts off another flashback, which they've been doing a lot with Valiant in general, starting off issues with flashbacks, which I don't know. I think that's Warren Simonism as the editor of all these books, because I think he's like, let's get the origin out of the way while we're telling a story instead of devoting actual issues to origin, which I like. So starts off, he's at the Black Research Site in Nevada. We see some scientists observing the nanite slime monster thing. The gray thing escapes and starts killing people. And then Bloodshot shows up and he kills the rest of the people. This is clearly back when he was completely under Project Rising Spirit's control. So while he's killing all the people at the facility, we see the young Psyot, her name is Pulse, from earlier, and she's trying to escape Bloodshot. As he's killing people, she approaches him, hits him with an EMP blast, and he's completely out of commission. Next, we see her getting violently taken by the Project Rising Spirit people, and she's their prisoner. Skip ahead to the present. Bloodshot's on the ground after getting a shot in the head. The Rising Spirit people are about to finish him off when his former hostage, the paramedic chick, shows up with the sniper rifle and basically makes the guy drop his gun. She starts treating Bloodshot, but then he shoots all those dudes, and I love this part. He's like, oh, I'm good now. Bam, 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 goes right to killing. So he Pulse gets free and kills the main Rising Spirit guy, and now we're left with just Bloodshot. Pulse and the paramedic. She seems to want to help Bloodshot now, even though he kidnapped her, which I still don't know if I'm sold, like why she wants to help him now, but whatever. Pulse, who's run away, takes someone's phone at gunpoint, and she uses it to call someone whose name sounds like Tony Harada, but it's probably Toyo Harada. So there's that connectivity that we've been kind of waiting to see. Bloodshot and the paramedic chick catch up with Pulse while she tries to hijack a helicopter. She succeeds, but it turns out that the helicopter pilot is actually Bloodshot in disguise. After communicating, they agree that it's better if they all work together, and now we got like a team up. The next day, Bloodshot, the paramedic, her actual name is Kara, by the way, and Pulse, her actual name is Melissa, arm up and get ready.
Not that anybody asked.
Not that anybody asked, but now we know. Well, Pulse doesn't like being called... Pulse doesn't like being called Pulse. She like, yeah, she like makes it clear that she'd rather be called Melissa. So I'll try to remember. But anyway, they get ready to fight Rising Spirit. That's the whole trade paperback. What an explosive ending! Yeah. Little Easter egg, little Toyo Harada Easter egg.
I did not catch that the first time.
I was gonna say, I think you're reaching a bit. I don't think that's. No, I'm just kidding.
So yeah. Gee, you said you didn't catch that the first time?
I did not somehow.
Neither did I.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you guys are brand new to this, right? I mean, you haven't even really. The only Toyo Harada you guys know is from that Harbinger we just did.
Also, towards the end of number 4, I was like at the end of my donation, and I was getting like the cold saline back in my veins and like trying to like finish up. So I was reading fast.
Nice. By the way, fun fact: the gray goo thing is an actual. It's a thing. It's a thing. It's
That's
like
terrifying.
Yeah, it's not. It doesn't exist, but it's one of those kind of like science problems. Yeah. Like it's like if we can do this with nanites, and then if we can create nanites that can evolve and fix themselves, then part of like if you ever go to a YouTube channel called Cursagat, where it talks about all those things, where it talks about the Fermi paradox and all that stuff, it'll talk about the gray goo. And so I thought that was really cool that they use an actual like science concept. That okay, well, here's what gray goo would look like, and it's fucking you up, yeah, because it's looking for protein and shit to build its parts. So that's cool.
That is cool.
So that army guy's a dick for backhanding a little girl for not counting to 10 Mississippi.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
yeah,
it's just kids these days. They don't get backhanded enough. I heard.
She had one job, well, 3 jobs.
Yeah, count to 10 Mississippi.
10. You can't do that,
right?
That last page of all 3 of them, like, is cool. I like it.
It's a great last page.
It is.
Yeah, and it's like I do want to. It makes me want to know what's next. It definitely like there's gonna be some fucking shit going down.
I will say my main
in Afghanistan Army Nurse Corps. Believe me, I've stepped in worse. See now, if you have no idea what you stepped in, and then this part, I like this one. Actually, I'm not gonna shit on this one. Because I can only imagine if you are an army nurse in Afghanistan, the kind of shit that's coming across your table. Like
you're seeing some shit.
Yeah, you're seeing some shit for sure.
So that's the moment I was talking about last issue. I thought it was in the last issue.
It doesn't explain how she knows how to use a freaking 50 cal Barrett rifle, sniper rifle, but this thing is legit. Yeah.
It does enough for someone who doesn't know to be like, okay, yeah, I buy it.
Oh, this was something I wanted to talk about. So she does like in the last couple of issues, she does like ultra pulse, right? Hospitals are going to get shut down, and they said specifically, "Don't worry, it doesn't affect humans, but electronics are going to get fucked up." And yet somehow she's like, okay, I get it, I'm with it. Electricity, pulse, right? EMT, but that all the people in that car where she did like the fucking giant one, right? That should have fucked up some people if her power could do this.
Right. I mean, she kills the guy, so she's able to harm people with it. She electrocutes the operators at the beginning.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Through the cyclone waves. Yeah.
Yeah, through the waves. Yeah. So I wonder if that could pass over encrypt. Never mind. I'm not even gonna have quick you electrocute like people on like every net. Never mind. I'm gonna stop. So yeah, it's she's a cool character. I like her. And she's very X-23-ish. She definitely reminds me of X-23.
Yeah. Oh, Pulse. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So I like all these characters, and one thing Bloodshot has on Harbinger and Exo Manowar so far is good female characters. You know what I mean? Like it's not anywhere else in the maybe Chris in Harbinger, and that's it. There's none in Exo Manowar so far.
Excuse me.
I'll say this: my one critique with this ending is it feels like I got half of a story at this point. Like I feel like or not even half a story. I feel like there's one more issue to kind of wrap this up at the very least.
All right.
I think it did feel a little bit rushed of like that, like, and now we're friends and we're gonna go work together and we're a team. Yeah.
So the David Aja cover you just did, one back, I absolutely love.
This cover?
Flick.
Oh
yeah,
it's
not that one. It's in a different order than mine.
Oh. So go Miko Suyon, Isai Ribic.
That one.
Oh yeah, David.
Then you should get the definitive edition, and you could own it.
That's so Punisher.
Yeah. I got the definitive edition. It's on my tablet.
Well, I was gonna say when you bring up Punisher, like even the drips, like that's a fucking skull.
Put a skull on his chest, and you don't have to change anything else. That's the Punisher.
One thing. But look, I'm saying like if you look at the circle, the red circle, and then the way the drips come down, just like the Punisher skull comes down, it's like it's the Punisher with who needs a tan, who's dead.
Yeah,
it's a zombie Punisher.
I guarantee you, if we went back, because Assad's done so much stuff for Marvel, and he's done so much stuff with Jason Aaron, 100% he's done Punisher stuff, and it probably just can't get out of his head. Like he's just.
Mm-hmm. Well, I've been reading the original Bloodshot run, and it's even more Punisher-y. I would say this leans into more like Wolverine with a side of Punisher, but go like the '90s Valiant. That's a completely different universe, by the way. But the '90s Valiant Punisher is like it's hard it's hard Punisher with like maybe a little splotch of Wolverine. It's like the opposite balance. Yeah, he's like wandering the streets shooting bad guys, like fighting the mafia and stuff. So it's like very
Robo,
the influences are clear.
There's an Artur Lazi. I'm bad with names. Variant for issue 3 that is phenomenal.
Ooh, that's
one
cool.
More
Andy Braze
right there.
Ooh, look at that! All the nanites coming out. Nanites, in his blood.
I love that cover right there.
Nanite blood is a cool power.
I want nanite blood fingernail polish.
Yeah.
And then anytime you chip the nail, just like, nah, I got you.
I mean,
Yeah.
Fixed.
let's like just list what he can do. He can look things up on the internet. He can like detect shit that's nearby. He can regenerate. He can emit like a high frequency thing that incapacitates people.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's reasonable to assume he can probably echolocate.
Definitely echolocate, and he can control machines. Like he can like take over machines.
Yeah.
I wonder what would happen if he like encountered someone who had like some type of sentient suit of armor or something. You know, like
Right. What would happen?
Yeah.
I wonder if we'll find that out in the near future.
That'd be crazy.
I don't know.
Oh, look at this. Valiant Masters, a new line of deluxe hardcover collecting hardcovers. Deluxe hardcovers.
Oh, did you find something to buy?
That's like those are the 90s. Those are the 90s runs. I've been meaning to get those.
Look at that. I want this.
You have the same I'm going to spend money look that Dakota has.
Just things open like, what's that? Where's my debit card?
I recommend that run, by the way. It is really fun. It's kind of like pulpy street level type shit, but it is really fun. And Bloodshot.
Blood of the Machine?
No, I was gonna say Bloodshot's also a little bit more like he's a little more flirty in that run. Like he's like hitting on babes. Like he's a little bit more of like a social guy. You know.
Which one are you talking about? What run?
The 90s Bloodshot run by Kevin Van Hook.
Judo,
is this not it? Oh, I see.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay, so this is not in canon.
Yes.
It's before, or it is.
Yeah, what you're looking at, the Valiant Masters series are hardcover reprints of the 90s Valiant. That no connection to current Valiant. Yeah, that's why it has the classic Barry Windsor Smith cover from Bloodshot #1 on it.
Oh, I have it. I have the foil on the wall. That's that one. Okay.
Yeah, Judah, when we were originally talking about this show and I started looking back, I was like, not only throughout, as we get further into Valiant, there's creators I love currently that worked inside the universe. But then I went and looked at the 90s stuff and I was just like, oh, these are all the 90s creators I love too. Like working on that stuff as well. So maybe if we finish this universe, we'll go back. I mean, that's years from now, but
yeah, but we'll remember. We'll remember. I remember everything. So yeah, we'll have that conversation. It is cool. There's some good stuff from there. And there's some characters that there's some characters from old school Valiant that they released by Valiant because they came from Gold Key. So like characters like Solar, Man of the Atom, and Magnus, Robot Hunter, and Turok, Dinosaur Hunter, they were Gold Key characters that were leased to Valiant when Valiant existed in the 90s, and then when Valiant kind of ended and then passed on to Acclaim and then eventually to Dinesh, they lost the lease. They lost the rights to those characters. So like they're not part of Valiant anymore, which is a shame because they're cool ass characters. It would have been fun to see Turok running around in this universe as well.
Not to mention Captain N.
Yeah.
Anyone else remember the Nintendo comics?
Oh yeah, that's right. So, any final thoughts from anybody before we kind of wrap this up?
What is next week or next time?
Oh, I'm glad you asked. So our next Club Valiant, we're gonna be here. Let me embiggen.
It's going big. It's going big, everybody.
So next one, we're going back to Harbinger. Sorry, Chris.
Nice.
But I mean, look what we got here. We got some teams shit. Like that looks cool, right? Look at the rage on Faith's face. Look at that. Look at that rage. She's ready to kick some ass.
She looked like she crapped her pants.
Just leaving a trail of diarrhea.
Is that David Duchovny?
It could be. Looks a little David Duchovny-ish, huh? And then Chris is like pissed off too. So yeah, it looks pretty cool. Renegades is the name of their team, so it's gonna be pretty fun. And then after that, we got Bloodshot. I brought these to Vegas just for this moment, by the way. Next we got Bloodshot: The Rise and the Fall.
There was a way to put these images on the screen.
Look at this poor bastard right here. Yep. So there it is. This is gonna be.
He's probably gonna let that guy go. I bet.
Yeah, he's probably gonna let him go.
Yeah, like he's like, got you. I usually just trick people and scare them into telling me the truth, and I don't kill them.
Chris, I think you're gonna be happy to hear this. So after those 2 books, you know what we have after that?
Events.
An event. Harbinger Wars. With Harbinger Wars, we had a little internal discussion about this. I don't know if the 3 of you remember. We kind of had an internal discussion about it. Like the way it's collected is there's the main event, which is like 4 issues or something, and then there's a Harbinger tie-in trade, and then there's a Bloodshot tie-in trade, and there's a reading order that kind of you have to like jump between trades, which I'm not going to do. I did that once, and it's really not necessary. You can just read the event and then read the tie-in trades if you want, or you can do it in order. I don't care. But so we're gonna have one episode that covers both the tie-ins and the event. It's going to be our first event episode for Club Valiant. So
might go a little long.
Yeah, but it'll be fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when do we get back to Exo Manowar? Because that's stuff I was enjoying.
Okay, well here, let's take a little peek. Let's take a little peek, all right?
A little peeksy view.
So after Harbinger Wars, we're gonna pick up with Archer and Armstrong Volume 1. So meet some new characters. And Archer and Armstrong's fun, so I really think G Money's gonna love it. I think Chris is gonna love it too.
Do you have this on the drive somewhere? This list?
Yeah, it's on our website.
Yeah, I haven't put that back up yet.
Oh, okay. I'll blast it out. And then after Archer and Armstrong Volume 1, we got Eternal Warrior Volume 1. Ooh. Then Archer and Armstrong Volume 2, Archer and Armstrong Volume 3, which, by the way, it's a hilarious series. And then we get into Shadow Man. Shadow Man Volume 1, Shadow Man Volume 2, Shadow Man Volume 3, and then we get into Quantum and Woody, which is another fun one with a lot of laughs. Quantum and Woody Volume 1, Volume 2, and that features a sentient goat. So I think we're all really gonna like that.
Huh.
And then we get back to Exo Manowar.
So just like a full year.
So I'm waiting like 4 months before I get into my dude bro time. That's what you're telling me.
Well, there'll be stuff. I think there'll be stuff you like in the meantime. We're all gonna love Shadow Man. 100%. No, there's zero chance of us not liking Shadow Man.
So this is not accurate anymore, then, huh?
Can you zoom it?
Let's see. Enhance.
What part's not accurate?
Well, because we did Volume 1. Did we do all 3? Oh, we did.
We did.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So there we go. Yeah, we can post this up in the video description, and then people know how we're gonna jump in.
Who writes the first volume of Shadow Man?
Justin Jordan, Mr. Luther Strode himself.
Yeah, the Beard, as we like to call him.
The Beard Man. Yeah.
It's the creator Luther Strode.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, creator of Luther Strode writes Shadow Man. It's really dope.
I like Luther
Patrick
Strode.
Zurcher. Patrick Zurcher is the artist for the interior on Shadow Man. So it's just it's high quality entertainment. Everyone, that's the one that I'm confident all 4 of us will like. I think Archer and Armstrong is going to be more of a G and Chris thing. I think, the Eternal Warrior is probably going to be more of a me and Robo thing. But I think Shadow Man is going to be a we all just love it kind of thing.
Okay.
Yep.
Now I have to hate it just to spite.
Is he?
I'm gonna show you.
Is Eternal Warrior? Was that the one that was a kind of samurai?
Have you read Berserker?
What?
Have you read Berserker with Keanu Reeves?
No, I don't got time for that shit.
No.
Yeah, it's the Eternal Warrior is a dude who's been alive since like the beginning of human civilization, and he just can't die. He can't die. He's just an eternal warrior, and he's been fighting ever since.
Did he find a suit in an alien spacecraft and it keeps him alive the whole time?
No, he's just it's like a supernatural phenomenon that keeps him alive, and has more to do with like the very nature of existence than anything else.
Oh. Was he like one of the first Homo sapiens?
No, he defends. I mean, you'll find out, but
that's way down the way though.
Yeah. Well, he defends the he defends the geomancers that pop up every few years.
Oh, the geomancers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course.
Yeah.
Those guys.
Oh, geomancers.
Look out for them.
Everyone's gonna. I mean,
I know about Was it Alex Pactino who did that one crossover, the Valiant crossover?
Yeah, Incursion.
Incursion, yeah.
Alex Pactnell and Doug Braithwaite did Incursion, and that is a very Geomancer heavy story.
Yeah, that was my introduction to the Geomancers.
Yeah, we're gonna learn a lot more about Geomancers as we delve into the Eternal Warrior and stuff.
I think we've said the word Geomancers like 8 times in the last 30 seconds. It's good.
It's a fun word.
Geomancer.
Yep, and I think everyone's gonna love. I mean, Archer and Armstrong is a lot of fun, and everyone's gonna love Archer and Armstrong. So we got some good stuff ahead of us. And yeah, it's fun kind of going through a universe like this where like we literally read everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So can I shout out a friend before we get out?
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. Shout out a friend and talk about your channel and stuff. Do all that. We didn't get to that last time, and I apologize. So
okay, well, we'll start there. Everybody, you can find me at Fortress Chris on Twitter and Fortress Comic News, the podcast. I don't know who we're interviewing this week. I forget. But we interview cool people, and it's a lot of fun. Joshua Dysart is going to be on the show one day after I insulted him online.
Oh, shit. Is that up? I actually wanted to see that. I wanted to see how that went.
So we are going to do an interview together. So he's agreed to one. It's not
it's not done yet. We're going to see. We're going to see if you bitch out. So I'm going to be in the comments.
But this week, a local creator in New York from Buffalo, actually, Bill Suck, called Kevin DeGaldo, released his book Tough Stuff that I just got, and it's fucking awesome.
Ooh, nice.
It's very 80s. It takes place in Florida in the 80s. It's about a crack addicted cat who has a cybernetic arm and kills a real estate guy called Mr. Dingus. It's fun. It's weird. It's goofy. It's a good time, and everybody should go try to find it and pick it up because Kevin's a good dude.
Cool.
And you can find him also on your Spotify's or whatnot under Frigid Giant because he's in a rap group as well. Really talented dude.
Cool.
Nice.
That's all I got.
G-Man, you want to talk Pride or Die?
Oh, yeah. We talked about Al Ewing. It was awesome.
Yeah.
He's awesome. You should go watch it.
Yep. We got two episodes in the bag. What are y'all doing next? Do you know yet?
Next, we're going to be reviewing the Hellfire Gala fashion.
What?
Nice.
Someone needs to talk about it. Jumbo put in a lot of work.
Look.
And some of those looks are...
Can someone on there just trash Cyclops for me? Because he looks like a fool.
That Ainsley does that every day.
Good. Whoever that person is, they're my new friend. I like them.
Oh, yeah.
Is Jumbo Carnation featured prominently in the Hellfire Gala story arc?
You see him mostly in the lead up to it.
It's a blast from the past,
right?
I remember him. I remember him from the Grant Morrison run. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you caught up? I think it's Sword, but the fact that Jumbo's back is not good for the mutants.
That's interesting.
It's tipping people off to certain things.
He was killed by. I believe he was killed by these in the Grant Morrison new X-Men run. He was killed by these anti-mutant people that also use this drug that temporarily gives them mutant powers or something like that. It's been a while.
That sounds right. Yes.
Yeah.
Speaking of Sword, if Jonathan Hickman is watching this, I hope he is. Can somebody please give me a Magneto and Peepers Best Friends Forever comic?
Oh my god! Right.
Every time those two are together, I'm so happy.
Dude, just Sword has been nothing but a treat. I didn't know what to expect from it, but yeah, Al Ewing has taken such characters that don't get a lot of attention or a lot of love and made them stars.
Yes.
Go read Sword.
100%.
Just for Peepers,
cool.
He rules.
Before we go, we're doing a Delirium Hour tomorrow. We're talking about I don't have it in reach right now, but we're talking about the Doll's House. And last Delirium Hour was fun. We really like talking about these books, and this is gonna be a long one. There's a lot in this book. It's a little it's
here's Robo getting out his
big thing.
Kill me someday.
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna pull it out.
No, you should pull it
and
out.
Show it off, and
yeah,
it has a fancy. I don't have to use old receipts. It has a cool ribbon.
Oh,
no junk mail for this book.
The Doll's House. Here it is.
You got the Bible edition, as they call it.
Homework. Yeah. This was the best one.
In the red letters is what Neil Gaiman says himself.
Oh, look. So Sammy, so when I leave, I'm going to show you guys this. Sorry. When I leave for like a trip, Sammy goes through my comics that I'm bringing. They're in my bag. She goes through them and she puts little notes, and it's really cute.
Fucking adorable. Oh!
So I'm like, what comic am I reading today? Oh, Sammy, I love you.
You guys are adorable.
Yeah, so we're gonna be talking about that tomorrow. It's gonna be really fun. It's gonna be we got to work out the time. I think it's at 11 my time, 11 Pacific, 12, 13, 2 o'clock East Coast. But I don't know where that time came from. I tried to do some forensic work in the chat and figure out how we arrived at that time, and I couldn't find it. So
I have it in my phone at 11 a.m., which I doubt is right.
So I'm tracking it at 11 a.m. Pacific time, which would make it 2 p.m. Eastern time,
1 p.m. G time,
1 p.m. G time, and noon for people who live in the mountain time. So I guess we're gonna go with that, unless anyone wants to change it.
Yeah, fuck it, why not?
Yeah, why not? Okay,
cool. Oh, yeah. All right. I know we talked about a lot of stuff here. Just wanted to give a quick reminder to anybody who might be watching this now or later. Pride or Die, Delirium, Valiant, Apocalypse, Live from the Apocalypse, and of course all the interviews, all right here on this one channel. And then Chris Kevin Run Eastman has the we do have Kevin Eastman coming up as soon as I'm done editing that. That was dope. I think Joshua Dysart I still have to edit also, right? And then also don't forget to look in the description. We'll throw Chris Run's podcast and YouTube channel down there too. Ladies and gentlemen and NBs, that is our show. And love you. Take care. And don't forget to drink and hydrate.